Hi, I'm Rachel, and welcome to my NaNoWriMo 2025 Week 1 vlog and the beginning of NaNoWriMo 2025. I'm sitting here on day 1 at a time in the morning when the sun is streaming onto my face. Not sure I'll be here very long. It's weird to be here at all, given what's happened with NaNoWriMo, that near the beginning of this year, the nonprofit went down. And of course, you don't need anything official to write 50,000 words in a month or to have any sort of writing goal, but the Nano website did offer a lot of foundation for a lot of us, for word tracking, for interacting with one another. So it was difficult to think of how, the same spirit would continue with the nonprofit gone. But then some various groups have stepped up to fill that space. And so, I'm kind of taking part in some of them to help bolster me this month, like I'm doing Pro Writing Aid's Novel November, which gives me a way to track my writing, and they have writing sprints throughout the month and lots of other online events with writers, Q&As, and workshops, so I definitely think I'll be watching and participating in some of those. And then even more especially, perhaps, is the fact that Chris Beatty, who was the first person to start NaNoWriMo all those years ago, over 20 years ago, and then a bunch of other volunteers who've been involved in Nano throughout the years have started Nano 2.0, which is a much smaller endeavor. There's not all of the bells and whistles of having an account and all of that, but there is, a weekly newsletter, there's a blog. I think they're trying to bolster support for the young writers and for all of us. And luckily we have all of these years behind us, so that, like with these newsletters, they're asking for, fellow writers and Rhymos to talk about their experiences, and they have so much to build off of. We have so much history behind us, and it just feels so special, and I'm just looking forward to what they come up with, including all the graphics you see, like through my videos and so forth. Anyway, when it comes to my own project, this NaNoWriMo, I've always been a Nano rebel, doing both fiction writing and also blogs and reviews and that sort of stuff, and that'll continue for me, definitely. In fact, I'll get even more rebel-y, because one of my big creative writing projects this month now is, finally, after all of these years, I finished a complete draft of my fantasy novel, A Song of the Wanderers, and it is time to go into revisions. So revising will definitely be a big part of what I'm doing this month, or it should be. We'll see how things go. And ooh, it's just still surreal to think of things that way. This is a surreal time, even personally. Like, I'm coming into November 2025 after a month on furlough because of the government shutdown. So my schedule is sort of all over the place right now. And I guess I'm anticipating that this month, sooner or later, the tides will shift and I'll be back to work, and I'll have to factor that in. And I'll take you on that journey with me as well, to experience other places and things throughout the month of November as I go toward my goal, which I'm still tracking, by the numbers, getting to 50K. And anyway, today, on the first day of Nano, it is a Saturday, which means it's a day when I go to my usual writing group, the DC Writer Salon. So that'll be a wonderful way for me to gather up all of my inspiration and all that I have planned to do, and, give it a good start. So let's go. So my niece turned 12 on Halloween, and I'm heading into Baltimore today to celebrate with her and my family. I have this wrapped gift to put into my backpack here. This is a bracelet making kit that she wanted. It's a really easy box to wrap, but this is about as good as my wrapping jobs get. But hopefully she will enjoy what's inside. My sister's garage right now just to show how much cooler she is than me. This is the setup she had in her garage. A lot of these were animatronics or glow in some way. One of them I think still is glowing. So in her neighborhood they would let kids into the garage kind of like a haunted house, and so this is what remains of that setup now. And she has even more stuff in her front yard and even in her house, where they are accruing new stuff half off in November now. So I think this is going to be a big to-do for them for the next several years. Good morning. It is day 3 of NaNoWriMo. It is a Monday, and I am filming this a little bit later than I'd usually be filming a morning update on a Monday if I were going into work. But as of right now, the government shutdown continues. That being said, I'm hoping to get myself a little more on track with my pre-furlough schedule, particularly in terms of utilizing my writing group, the DC Writer Salon. Most Mondays I go to an evening write-in session at the salon that I have been skipping out of ever since my furlough began. That's because, you know, the write-in session, it's kind of late, it's in the evening, it's in DC, and now I'm not spending most of my weekdays in downtown DC, where it's, you know, a quicker jaunt to get over there. But I feel like I'm missing out, and obviously I need, you know, special impetus and inspiration to meet these word count goals this month. So I think it's time to retake up the torch and use NaNoWriMo and these vlogs to guilt myself or encourage myself to get back into the routine and see some people for the first time in a month, which also would be pretty great, I think. Hopefully they'll be there too. And I hope to be working on my fantasy novel. And speaking of repetitive patterns, I think I might be working on chapter 6. Last year I think I talked about chapter 6 a lot in my nano vlogs. I was revising that chapter, although I think the parameters of what's in chapter 6 and what isn't changed over the month. But I was revising that to submit to one of the Writer Salon's feedback groups. And now I'm coming back to chapter 6 as like my first big problem area as I'm, reading over and assessing my draft. It's something about this chapter just, hasn't necessarily been fully working. So this is my next attempt to try to plug away at it. I have some ideas that I wrote out in October, so hopefully this will be an easy way to get back into the flow. Hello, day 4 check-in. Last night at the salon, I did tackle chapter 6 of my fantasy novel. I have a feeling this won't be the last time I'm tackling it. Some of the writing still strikes me as too utilitarian, although I know I'm being a bit hard on myself. But anyway, for now, I think I am able to move on. And the irony, of course, is I am editing for this novel this month, and so instead of technically adding words, I detracted 1,000 words from that chapter, which is actually a good thing, because I'll say when I finished my full complete draft in August, I had 126,000 words. That is the length that was of the manuscript. And I think that's about 26,000 words higher than YA fantasy is supposed to be. So I do have some deletions to do. But what I did is I ended up, copying and pasting a part of what I did last night, and I justified that as my nano words, for all of the tweaking I did and so forth. There's no nano police. I'm a proud rebel, so I'm, counting things the way that feels appropriate to me. And so far, for these past few days of nano, I'm pretty happy. I've done a lot of rebel work, but I'm getting stuff done, staying on top of my commitments, getting words in. I'm pretty happy. Right now, I'm actually stepping away for a little bit. I have to go downtown into DC, but for something else, for this new chorus that I joined, this local Jewish chorus. We have a Hanukkah concert coming up, so we have a few more rehearsals left to do. So I got my music and everything. I did some practicing this afternoon, and so I'm going to go to my rehearsal at the local JCC, and then I'll be back here to do some more writing. I figured I'd close out my first week of NaNoWriMo with a Novel November workshop, because that's one of the major reasons I joined. And we have here Tomi Adeyemi, who is a pretty famous YA fantasy novelist. I believe her trilogy is about to be turned into movies soon, and she is talking here about the writer's roadmap. So hopefully this will carry us forward into the rest of the month.
Let me show you my best friend. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Did you think I was gonna bring an animal? This is Linda. This is my baking timer. This is what allows me to work in writing sprints. So true story, January 2024, January 1st, 2024, doing everything that I am literally teaching you guys right now. I turned off my Wi-Fi, I decided what I was gonna write, and I turned Linda to 5 minutes. I was like, you are a YouTuber now. Like, look at you doing this weird little hand thing they do so the camera can focus. 5 minutes. And I wrote for those 5 minutes. I put my fingers on my keyboard and I wrote. And I wrote, and then when it goes off, it does like a doodle-doodle. So I did that, and then I think I passed out for like 3 hours. I'm not even joking, writing is really hard. I was like dehydrated, my head hurt. And I think it is like the brain doing push-ups. So I might have only done 5 minutes that day. I might have done 5 minutes and then passed out and then done another 5 minutes. But essentially that's what I did January 1st. And then January 2nd, Hunia, I love that idea. January 2nd, 5 minutes. Shay said, seriously, I wrote for like 20 minutes last night and then slept so hard. Think about it, it's your brain literally going like, I was like, that's weight day for your brain. So it's lifting and then you just pass out. I would say maybe it was about into the second week of 5 minutes, the timer went on. And then I was like, oh, I actually have a couple more words in me. So then the timer became 7 minutes and kept going. That goes to 10, that goes to 15. By June of 2024, so 6 months into this process, I could write for 55 minutes straight, 7+ times in a row. So from 5 minutes on January 1st to 55 minutes times 7. And that wasn't taxing, that wasn't Like, I think I knew it was 7+ rounds because I was coming up on a deadline. So it was one of those days I just had to like keep going. But again, I had gone from only being able to do 5 minutes and then passing out for 3 hours to being able to do, I mean, how many hours is that? Basically 7 hours back to back to back to back to back. Stanley, this is like the gym. It is exactly like the gym. It is exactly like the gym. So if you just turn off your Wi-Fi, just decide a little bit what you're gonna write in advance, whether that's detail or just understanding where you're starting that day, and work in sprints, perfect. Diane, same as building a meditative practice, yes. And it's because building your routine becomes a meditative practice that you silence your inner critic and you start truly enjoying the process of writing.